She thought her marriage was unbreakable. Until one afternoon, her mother-in-law quietly handed her husband's ex-wife a $5 million check and whispered 4 words that shattered everything. "Leave my son. Now." What happened next would expose lies buried for years and turn love into a battlefield no one saw coming. Aisha Rahman believed she had one life. At 29, she had a devoted husband, a luxury home in Islamabad, a respected family name, and a future she trusted. Her husband, Zain Rahman, was calm, disciplined, and successful, a rising executive in his family's investment firm. But the real power didn't belong to Zain. It belonged to his mother. Begum Salma Rahman was not a woman people argued with. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't threaten. She controlled outcomes. Her word could open bank doors, close business empires, end marriages. And from the day Aisha married Zain, Salma had never accepted her. Not openly, but cold politeness is sometimes louder than hatred. It started with small things. Salma would say, "You are a good girl, but not our kind." Or, "Zain could have done better." Zain always defended Aisha, but he also feared his mother, because Salma Rahman had already destroyed one marriage. Her name was Maryam Qureshi, Zain's first wife, beautiful, educated, from a powerful family. Their marriage ended suddenly 5 years ago. Official reason: incompatibility. Unofficial truth: no one dared to say it aloud. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. Aisha was arranging flowers in the living room when the housekeeper whispered, "Madam, there is a guest." A woman. Aisha turned and froze. Standing in the doorway was Maryam, elegant, calm, confident, as if she had never left. Maryam smiled gently. "Assalamu alaikum, Aisha." Aisha's heart began to pound. "Why are you here?" Before Maryam could answer, Salma Rahman entered the room, holding a black leather folder. Salma sat down slowly. She opened the folder. Inside was a bank transfer document. Amount: money bag $5 million. She slid it across the table, not to Aisha, to Maryam, and said calmly, "This is for your silence and your patience." Aisha felt the air leave her lungs. Then Salma turned to Aisha. Her voice was cold, controlled. "You will divorce my son." Aisha laughed, out of disbelief. "Excuse me?" Salma didn't blink. "Zain belongs with Maryam. This marriage was a mistake." Zain walked in moments later. He saw his ex-wife, his mother, his wife trembling. "What's going on?" No one answered. Salma spoke instead. "Choose." Zain stared at the check, then at Maryam, then at Aisha. He said nothing, and in that silence, Aisha realized something terrifying. This wasn't sudden. This had been planned. Later that night, Aisha overheard voices in Salma's study. Maryam's voice, Salma's voice. She leaned closer and heard words that would change everything. "She doesn't know the real reason we ended the first marriage." Salma said, "She can never know. If Aisha finds out, everything collapses." Maryam replied softly, "What about the child?" Salma snapped, "That child never existed." Aisha's hands began to shake. "Child?" Aisha returned to her room. Zain was sitting on the bed. She asked quietly, "Is there something you haven't told me?" Zain looked away. That was her answer. Maryam arrived exactly on time. No driver, no bodyguard, just her, and a calm smile that made Aisha uneasy. They sat across from each other in a quiet cafe far from the Rahman mansion. Aisha didn't waste time. "Why did you really come back?" Maryam stirred her tea slowly. "Because the past doesn't stay buried forever." Aisha leaned forward. "I heard you talking about a child." Maryam's hand froze, just for a second. Then she smiled again. "You shouldn't eavesdrop on powerful women." Aisha's voice hardened. "Was there a child, Maryam?" Silence. Long. Heavy. Finally, Maryam whispered, "Yes." Aisha's heart raced. "Zain's?" Maryam nodded. I was 3 months pregnant when Salma forced me to leave. Aisha felt sick. Forced. Miriam's eyes darkened. She told me the baby would destroy her son's future. Miriam continued. Salma arranged doctors, papers, silence. Aisha's voice trembled. What happened to the baby? Miriam looked away. I lost it. The words hit like a slap. Aisha finally understood. The money. It's not for love. It's for control. Miriam nodded. She wants me back so she can control Zayn again. Through guilt. Aisha stood up. Then we're both being used. Miriam looked surprised. You're not angry? Aisha replied calmly. I am. But not at you. For the first time, Miriam looked relieved. Scene 22, Zayn's lie. That night, Aisha confronted Zayn. Why didn't you tell me about the pregnancy? Zayn broke. Because my mother swore me to silence. Aisha stared at him. You chose obedience over truth. Zayn whispered. I was weak. Aisha packed a bag. Zayn panicked. Where are you going? She replied. Somewhere your mother can't reach. The next morning, Aisha's father was summoned. Business audits. Legal threats. Frozen accounts. Salma Rahman never played fair. Miriam met Aisha again. This time she was crying. I don't want him back. Aisha blinked. Then why stay? Miriam whispered. Because Salma promised something. She promised to destroy you. If I refused. Aisha felt rage rise. Salma wasn't choosing between women. She was crushing both. Aisha made a choice. We expose her. Miriam hesitated. She's untouchable. Aisha smiled faintly. No one is. Miriam revealed. Medical records. Voice recordings. Bank transfers. Signed threats. Salma had erased a pregnancy. But she had left fingerprints everywhere. Zayn heard everything. He collapsed into a chair. My mother ruined my life. Aisha replied. Only if you let her do it again. Salma watched the television in shock. Miriam's face filled the screen. She spoke calmly. I was forced to divorce. I was pregnant. And I was silenced. Salma's phone began to ring. Non-stop. Salma stood up slowly. Her voice cold. So, they chose war. She picked up her phone and said one sentence. Activate Plan B. Within hours of the interview airing, chaos followed. Aisha's phone exploded with messages. Family friends suddenly distant. Business partners pausing deals. Anonymous threats flooding her inbox. Salma Rahman's influence was moving. Fast. Zayn arrived at his office the next morning. Security stopped him. Sir, you no longer work here. His access cards were dead. His name removed from the company site. Salma had cut him off. Completely. Salma called Zayn personally. I gave you a life. I can take it away. Zayn finally snapped. You already did. Silence. Then Salma said softly. Then you are no longer my son. News channels erupted. Headlines screamed. Billionaire matriarch accused of forcing abortion cover-up. Salma's charities froze donations. Board members resigned. But Salma didn't panic. She prepared something worse. Aisha received a legal notice. Salma was suing her for defamation, emotional damages, breach of family confidentiality. Claim amount? Money bag $20 million. It was intimidation, pure and simple. Miriam called Aisha at midnight. I can't do this anymore. Her voice cracked. She's threatening my parents. My siblings. Aisha closed her eyes. She's bluffing. Miriam whispered. She never bluffs. Then something unexpected happened. Salma's former personal assistant, Nadia, reached out. She had been fired years ago. I know things, Nadia said. Bad things. Nadia handed over a digital folder. Inside, signed NDAs, payoffs to doctors.
Email ordering document destruction.
A recorded call of Salma saying, a dead secret is better than a living scandal. Aisha's hands trembled. This was it. Zayn stood before the media. No lawyers. No protection. My mother abused her power. I stayed silent. That silence makes me guilty. Gasps echoed. Salma watched from her mansion, her face unreadable. The courtroom was packed. Cameras everywhere. Salma arrived last. Calm, regal, untouched. She looked at Aisha like she was nothing. The judge turned to Mariam. Why did you stay silent? Mariam swallowed. Because $5 million was offered to erase my pain. The courtroom exploded. Mariam pulled out the check. Uncashed. I never used it. She placed it on the evidence table. I kept it, so the truth could return with it. Salma's expression finally cracked. Salma stood. Everything I did was for my son. The judge asked, including destroying a child? Silence. The loudest silence of all. Weeks later, the ruling came down. Salma Rahman lost majority control of her company, faced criminal investigation, ordered to pay damages to Mariam. The empire shook. Zayn and Aisha sat together quietly. Zayn spoke first. I don't deserve forgiveness. Aisha nodded. No. But you deserve honesty. They signed divorce papers, not in anger, but in clarity. Mariam donated the money, every dollar, to a foundation supporting women silenced by powerful families. She named it The Unburied Truth. Salma sat alone in her mansion. No staff, no calls, just echoes. Power had abandoned her. A year later, Aisha stood on a stage, speaking to hundreds. The most dangerous prison. Is silence disguised as loyalty? Applause thundered. After the event, Aisha received a letter. No return address. Inside were 4 words. You were never weak. Signed, Aisha smiled. Not in victory, but in peace.